Hi guys, it's Marc Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Marc Zicree of Space Command. And yesterday we shared a scene from Space Command, from the movie we're shooting. We've shot 45 minutes of the film. We're ramping up now to shoot the rest of the film in the next few weeks, building sets, having very lengthy meetings with our cast and crew, and rehearsals and all of that. So today what I want to share with you, which again we've just shared with our Space Command backers and our Space Command investors, is the Comic-Con panel with Doug Jones, Mira Furlan, Bob Picardo, many of our cast and crew, and we show a new trailer from Space Command, which we unveiled at Comic-Con, and also Scene 57, which we showed at the audience. And so feel free, if you want to talk about Space Command or other things that you love about science fiction, feel free to comment, share this the Mr. Sci-Fi channel with your friends, subscribe, do all the things you do. We'll talk to you again next time, and this is a long one. This is the entire panel, but we really wanted you to be part of what we're up to. So thanks very much, and we'll talk again soon. Marc Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, Marc Zicree of Space Command, talking to you again next time. Bye-bye.
It's about to get a lot better, let me tell you. We have a very special panel coming up here tonight. I would like to start off by introducing to you the creator, the main guy behind this whole thing. He is responsible as a writer and producer for over hundreds of hours of TV content. Talking content including Star Trek Next Generation, Babylon 5, Twilight Zone. Go ahead! He's also an author. He's authored the Twilight Zone Companion, which actually spawned a whole new generation of a whole new genre of literature, right? And that inspired a whole new generation of film and series makers. He's also a best-selling author from Magic Time, the trilogy, published by HarperCollins, and the audio content is published by Blackstone. Thank you very much. The most important thing that you need to know right now, that he is the Supreme Commander of Space Command. Please give a huge Comic-Con welcome for Marc Zicree.
Hi guys. Hi guys. And thanks very much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. We have a lot of great new stuff to show you and a lot of stuff to talk about. And so without further ado, I want to introduce some of our crew and our cast who are here with us tonight. First off, our VFX supervisor, Jeff Mark. Let's start with Jeff. Yay! Great. Hi. Great. And then the inimitable, the wonderful Doug Jones. Yay, Doug! And of course, you know him as the holographic Doctor on Voyager and so much more, Robert Picardo. And yeah, he's outside, so we'll get him. We'll tell him. We'll bring him in. He's really here. It's not a trick. And then also someone I worked with years ago on Babylon 5, who's a brilliant actress, Mira Furlan. Hey. And there's Bob Picardo. He really is here. Great. And playing Mira's daughter in Space Command is Yelena Mirdya. And many of you know that on Space Command, in addition to casting actors from our favorite TV shows and movies, many of which I worked on, we also had a worldwide talent search where anyone, anywhere in the world, could audition for 2 of the leads. And we had 7,000 inquiries, 1,200 videos, and we winnowed it down. And so here's playing Captain Jack Kemmer is Ethan McDowell, winner of the talent search. Now, one of the other roles that was part of the talent search was, well, I should mention that one of my dear friends and mentors was a writer that we all know and love, Ray Bradbury. And so I named a character Cadet Bradbury as a little tip of the hat to Ray. And so the winner of the talent search for Cadet Bradbury, Brian McClure. And there's a name tag, and there's stuff there. Yeah. No chair. And now also, one of the things I'm going to be espousing for all of you to do is when someone tells you what the rules are, your answer should basically be to them, well, bullshit. And so, exactly. So Cadet Bradbury, anyone, male or female, could audition for Cadet Bradbury. It was not gender specific. But Captain Jack Cameron was, you know, as you see, a manly man. And but one woman decided to audition for that role, and she was so spectacular that we created a captain of a sister ship called the Templar, and we created the character of Captain Lorraine Essex, and this is Sarah Marafino, winner of the Talent Search. And great. And I think we can get more chairs up here. We can figure out how to do that. Now, in addition, there was many of you know that Bill Mumy is also in Space Command, and he actually sent a little video hello that we'll play in a short while. But playing his son is a wonderful actor, Justin Cervillo, and Justin's here with us tonight. Hey, Justin! Yeah, you can come. Absolutely, absolutely. And and if we can get some more chairs, John, that'd be great. And we also have some of our team of geniuses as well who are not actors. And so we have Jeff Marks, our VFX supervisor from Battlestar Galactica and Serenity, lots of other shows. Hey, Jeff. And we have our composer and co-producer David Rakelin. Great. And over in the corner are three of the rest of our staff. I do want to give a shout out to Elle Sonnet, who she'll wave, and she's playing a role in Space Command as well. Our hero ship, the Paladin, was built and designed by my brother Jim, who's right over there. Yay, Jim! And our wonderful editors, Dave Edison over there in the hat, and yeah. And there's others here from the team, including my co-director and co-producer, my wife Elaine, who, yay. So I think that's all the time we have, and thank you very much. So I think what we're going to do is get right off the bat and show you a new trailer, and so I think we can run that with no further ado. You bet.
There is a great adventure ahead.
Are you alive?
No.
What are you?
A machine.
And whom do you serve?
Whoever leases me. I think I can fix this one.
Trash him. He's not worth it.
Thank you for my life. I thought you weren't alive. It's a matter of debate.
Your malfunctioning synthetic is headed to where there's an army of its kind.
I'm not under alien control, which is exactly what you'd tell me if you were.
They're kicking in their thrusters. Lieutenant!
Match their speed.
Yes, sir.
Essex, are you with me?
Right in step, Jack.
Try to see with your eyes, not your preconceptions. Something remarkable is happening.
It was first contact, Jack. Alive and deadly.
I changed the world. It went from a desert to a garden.
You doubt I know my duty, Captain? Put it in the report.
Put that in yours.
Get us out of here, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
We have to get aboard that ship.
You show remarkable bravado, Captain.
Surrender, we blow the ship.
My God.
What have you done?
The war is over. Go home.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah. So I guess we can start by maybe we should start with you, Doug. We'll have some of our actors talk first, then we'll go to the effects and the music and all that stuff. So Doug, I don't know what you'd like to say about this experience, but you've been with it for a long time. So.
Well, if I just have a microphone in time, hi. I absolutely loved working on this. When Marc met me a few years ago, he wanted to have lunch with me immediately to talk about creating something. And this is what came out of it. And when he said that he wanted me to play a synthetic that would be an android sort of character, I'm like, yeah, because I've never done that before. It's one of the few things I've never played. So to be a synthetic human, but with a very human soul that unfolds as the story does. And I think I just loved how I love how Marc writes anyway, and this story was such a reflection of humanity through the eyes of this, from my perspective anyway, from this robotic being who's kind of enslaved. What the storyline is that I was created by Bill Mummy's character, and to work with him, Will Robinson.
Yes.
All right, I know, right? It's amazing.
Uh-huh.
He's the head of the corporation that created this line of synthetics who were created as a workforce basically. And being tall and slender, of course, Marc wrote a character for me that was a refined house servant, sort of like a butler synth. And because I sort of started developing a mind and an opinion and a heart of my own, I started mouthing off when I shouldn't have, I guess. And so when you meet me in this story, I've been moved to the mineral mines as a laborer, which is kind of like not what I was designed for, but there I'm stuck. And Robert Picardo's character is the one who understands me and gets me, and so there's this friendship bond that forms between us, where he helps sort of liberate me. You saw a little touching scene between the two of us where I'm thanking him for my life. They were going to trash me after an explosion, and he's the one who decided he could probably fix me, and he took my inhibitor chip out, and I'm not inhibited anymore. So my soul, my opinions, my life is blossoming as human as I've felt I can be. So there's the story. So for me personally, and getting to kind of be a reflection of a lot of human history that takes place in real life. A lot of cultures and races that have been enslaved or captured that have sought freedom and have sought a better life ahead. And I become a reflection of that in this fantastical story that takes place in outer space.
Great, that's great, Doug. And actually, it's so fun the way that Doug and I met, because I just wrote a book with Guillermo del Toro called Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, and we've been sharing, Doug, like a piece of really good cake that we just keep sliding across the table back and forth. And because Doug, of course, is in The Strain and in Crimson Peak, which is the new Guillermo movie coming down the pike, and so you've been shuttling between the projects. And we met at the Saturn Awards, and you were dressed in this wonderful. I won the Saturn Award a few years ago, and Doug was in this astonishing Victorian coat, and I just thought he was a cool-looking guy, and I went up to say hi, and I learned he was Doug Jones, and it was heaven on earth. And so it's been fabulous to have you in the project, Doug. So since you were talking about Bob Picardo, let's move to Bob for a moment. And Bob, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about your character, just the experience of working on this, or anything you want to say.
Well, it was fun to be on the other side of the artificial intelligence.
Yes,
versus organic discussion. First of all, Doug is an actor I've known for a number of years. We kind of played. We had a momentary scene or two in a couple of other movies, but we never really had this opportunity before to really work together. And the characters have a unique relationship. As he said, he's also one of those actors that everyone you meet says how nice he is and what a pleasure he is to work with. And I'd like to say that's a big lie. No. It was a joy to work with him. I learned things from him that had I worked with him before, I would have stolen and used on Star Trek, but it was too late. No, we really have a very a very interesting relationship. The other thing that attracted me to the material, Marc writes really nice emotional hooks for science fiction, which is rare to find in this kind of genre. Also, the other thing that was fascinating, my character is a Muslim, and he is a man of faith who is having a crisis of faith. And by meeting and developing a relationship with this artificial intelligence, he really gets, he makes a discovery about his own life, and he learns from their relationship how to stop being stuck in this pattern of grief that he's been in since his wife died tragically many years before. And he hasn't really been able to reach out to his son and have the kind of relationship he wants to have because he's been too stuck in his grief, as I said, for his wife. So it's really through his relationship with Doug's character, this synthetic being, that he discovers how to start living his life again. And then he really steps beyond himself and becomes quite heroic in the film. Now, I know you guys are, a little tired of seeing me be a hero. It was nice to be a character that was very different from the character I played on Star Trek, not simply because he was real. He's kind of a blue-collar character. As I said, he talks about faith a lot, and it was a very different role for me. And of course, it was Mira Furlan, another actor who I've met through personal appearances, never had the chance to work with before. That was a super treat to get to share the screen with her. And she is, she exudes feeling and truth when you work with her. Great to work with Bill Mumy and this wonderful cast of what I now call younger actors that were all so terrific in their various roles. So I am really delighted to be part of the whole thing, and I think I look kind of macho in the movie, which is a real change.
Come on now. Great, and yay, Bob, and some of you, I'm sure, know about Space Command, and some of you may not know about Space Command, but basically, from the introduction, I've written hundreds of hours of network television, lots of shows that we all love, and I loved working on them. Next Gen, DS9, Babylon 5, Sliders, all that stuff. But this project, I raised the money through Kickstarter, and subsequently fans have actually been buying investment shares, and that's been, so basically the audience has been underwriting this project, and distributors have come to us and we have not said yes to them because we want the right partner and we want the right team to get this out to the world more broadly. And right now, we don't need network or sponsor or studio interference, and the cast you see, the story you see, all of this is what I want, the story I want to tell. I write what I want to write, I choose the people I want to work with, and we make something that I think we can all be very, very proud of when we present it to the world. And so first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you because I trust your taste and your judgment far more than I trust those of the executives in the corporate tower. And so yes, thank you. Yeah. And since Bob was talking about his character and Doug and so forth, what we're going to also show you, in addition to the new trailer we just showed, we're going to show you an entire scene from the film. And so Bob set it up a little bit, but basically when we first meet Bob, he's working as a foreman in a mine in the asteroid belt, and there's an accident where many synthetics are destroyed, and they want to destroy Doug because he's damaged, and Bob intervenes and saves him. And this is a scene shortly after that when Bob wakes up and Doug has left his apartment and he goes searching for him. So if we can roll that scene, that'd be great.
You really are remarkable animals, you men. Chimpanzees could not have done all this. Not without considerable modification.
I thought you'd run away.
I thought about it. But where would I run? Or more to the point, how? Do you like it here?
It's a paycheck.
It's a prison.
Should you be saying this to me?
Who else could I possibly say it to?
I'm starting to get that uneasy question thing you've got going. I used to feel the same way about this place.
Used to?
Well, except for my son, I've stopped feeling almost everything.
And yet, you believe in God. I've watched you pray from the mines. You, as I, are unlike the rest.
My wife, Veronique, she was unlike the rest. We were camping, Yosemite, you know it?
Yes.
Odin was barely a year old. This was before the volcano, of course. There was a flash flood burst through without warning. Big boulders, trees roaring by. Never seen anything like it. The water's alive. Murderous. We got to high ground, but there was another family that was trapped. Veronique got a rope across, climbed over, and managed to start them back, one by one. Now it was her turn. But by then the water was higher. Odin was screaming. So I handed him off to one of the others. I moved along the rope. I stretched out my hand. And she was gone. If I had just had the faith to let go of the rope, to leap,
you'd have both been killed.
Since then, the only thing I've heard from God is silence.
Maybe he's speaking to you now. The family you still have is on Mars. We could join him.
Great, just great. And a piece of advice to any of you who are aspiring filmmakers or want to be showrunners or any of that stuff, when you meet brilliant, talented, good-hearted people, don't let them go. Just keep them close, because these are wonderful actors. So, so next we get to Mira Furlan, wonderful Mira Furlan, and so I don't know if you'd like to talk a little bit, Mira, about your character or the journey.
Sure, with pleasure. I mean, first of all, I'm delighted to be in a project with these two incredible people. And of course, Marc's vision, I mean, that is so huge, you know. So anyway, it's been a gift to me that came unexpected from the universe. Via this wonderful person. My character, a person of integrity, a person of vision, who sees further than her own belonging, belonging to her own group or tribe. And that's somehow one of the main themes especially of this first movie that we shot. How can one transcend the frame that's given to him or her, And it's something that I've been thinking a lot. It's in a way, it's one of the main themes of my life as it happened, with the war that I experienced in the former Yugoslavia and the wars that are happening all around the world, Who do we side with? Where do we belong? What is our mission? What is our duty as human beings, Can we see beyond our family, our tribe, our nation and so on. Is there anything beyond? These are the questions that Marc is dealing with and that I'm delighted to be dealing with in this project. Because as I said, I really resonate with those themes. And I've been thinking of them, they presented themselves in my life. Whether did I choose them? Maybe not. They chose me, and so they became my themes. And
yes.
so I'm in a way, it somehow it makes sense that I'm a part of this.
Great. Well, thank you, Mira. And yes, absolutely. And one thing to mention about Space Command is that it's 6 features, it's 6 films, and it's a big story that covers 150 years and 5 generations of 3 families. So we meet Mira and her daughter in this film, and but Doug being a synthetic and Mira having a genetic alteration that allows for a very long lifespan, they're viewpoint characters that cover the 150 years, whereas other characters live their lifespan normally, and we meet their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So one thing I should mention is that Bob Picardo's great-grandson in this story is played by Armin Shimmerman. So, that's a very interesting gene pool. Yeah, exactly. And Armin's a dear friend. So next we get to Yelena Mirja, and if you'd like to talk about it a little bit. And she, as I mentioned, she plays Mira's daughter in the film.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it was just so incredible to work with Mira and Doug and Bob, and like Bob said, all the youngsters over here. I mean, it was just like a blessing from, and the fact that Marc wrote the roles for Mira and myself, and I didn't even know Mira. I always knew of her because back home she's like such a huge star. And I sort of couldn't believe it. So when Marc told me, "Oh, I'm writing roles for you guys," I said I still submitted for these roles that like they were running audition for. So it was just really an incredible. And then we shot so much, and I've never seen the trailer until tonight. I just love what it looks like and what everyone has done. And my character in that really, in a way, grows up. Through like all the adventures that we have, because in the beginning I'm that opposite of my mother, and I'm really just watching after myself and after her, and I don't really care what happens to the world or the others. I'm like, let's save ourselves and get off this ship and just go. And as things unfold and I start to see the bigger picture, my heart sort of softens and I start to change my view. And I don't even know that my mother is half synthetic or whatever she is, and then that unravels in the movie, and so it's really this whole journey and emotional story of each one of the characters put in this beautiful vision of like humanity in the future, where we actually don't. I don't want to cuss. where we do well as humans, where we don't. Go on a bad route.
Well, yeah, and one thing I wanted to jump in and say about that is that, one of the reasons I did this through Kickstarter and crowdfunding and selling investment shares, and there's a few shares still left, and then we'll just keep doing it that way to get the movies made, is that I noticed in terms of science fiction films and TV shows, there was a strong tendency nowadays toward dystopic stories and hopeless and despairing stories, and that's not the story I want to tell, because it doesn't reflect my life. I think compassion is a very real factor in the world. I think it's a counterweight to the evil in the world, and honor and courage and all of these things, selflessness, are very real. And I think if you don't give hope to people, what are they going to make the future into? And certainly those of us who saw Star Trek or Star Trek: The Next Generation or Star Trek Voyager or Babylon 5, I mean, these were shows that really addressed moral issues. And one thing that's wonderful about science fiction, I think, in general, is that those of us who grew up in the genre, we question authority, we question the way the world is. We say, well, you have to decide who you're going to be in this world, and whether you're going to be a force for good or not. And I think these are issues that I'm grappling with in the writing, but also I think they're very important, because you don't just sort of go along with the tide of the darkness, because then who are you and what are you creating? So this is what we're, all of us, creating here. So, yeah, thank you. So next we get to Ethan McDowell, and Ethan, if you want to talk about this journey.
looking across the table, I still feel like I'm getting away with something. No, just the idea that Marc and Elaine took a big chance in the idea of just putting a lead role online for anybody in the world to take a shot and become a part of this team. And you know, like you said, 7,000 people put in for it. 1,200 videos were submitted, and the fact that they decided to blast me into space is pretty exciting. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And for Jack Kimmer, he's as we're talking now, it's all about lineages, and it's about family. And my character is he's kind of torn because of his father, who I'm kind of thrown into following his footsteps, and he has his own method, and that's the only method that's right. And my character has to, not only can he never live up to that in a sense, because I'm different, and I have a heart, and I want to help people. And I think that Jack Kimmer takes that on his journey to help everyone, his crew, to help everybody around. And it's just kind of neat how Marc has written it, is that the lineage starts to change. Not the lineage, but the vibe of the family, and then how whatever my choices are throughout this film will then affect my son and my grandson later on throughout the universe. And it's just really exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
And one thing that was really fun about the talent search was that I was looking for a certain quality of heroism, a certain quality of decency, and kind of a middle American quality like you used to get in some of the old cowboy stars, for one thing, you know, Gary Cooper, those kind of guys. And again, Space Command isn't corny, it's not rose-colored glasses. We have great challenges ahead in the future that we're going to have to really work hard to overcome. But I just wanted that quality, and Ethan's from Wyoming, and Brian's from Iowa, and Sarah's from the great middle American state of New York. So a little bit of a speed bump there, but even so. But so I'm really glad to have you aboard, Ethan. So yeah.
Thank you.
And then Sarah, if you want to talk about it, you colored outside the lines, so here you are.
I did. I did color outside the lines, and what's very interesting is the character of Essex. She's by the book, but she takes a lot of risks, and the sort of arc that you see her go on in the beginning, she's very. She doesn't need anybody. She's black and white. And then slowly through this journey that she shares with Jack, she begins to see that there isn't black and white, it's gray. And forgiveness plays a big factor in this, and how her history has shaped her present, and how you really have to rely on other people, and you have to ask for help, and there's great strength that you can get from just saying, I need help. And so that's a very interesting,
it's fun.
You know, humanity.
And one thing I should mention, just for clarification, is we shot 45 minutes of the film about a month before last, and then because we were coming to Comic-Con, we took a break, and we're shooting the rest in August. So the entire film will be shot within the next few weeks. And but we really wanted to be here and be able to share this with all of you. So it's really fun to be coming from TV. Many of us come from television, and again, you multitask, you know how to really make your day and all that stuff, but you put your heart into it fully. So Brian, do you have anything you want to add about your
sure.
how you got here?
Yeah, I think Marc and Elaine brought me on because save some budget. I mean, as you can tell, I'm not sitting on my own chair right now. So you know, I was glad to do it. You know, I'll be that guy. So stepping in, you know, team player. I was a talent search winner as well, which was awesome and unbelievable. But it was interesting because when I first did it, I auditioned for Cadet Bradbury, who evidently is going to be coming in the 4th and 5th films. But because of the I don't know. Mark likes me having me around, maybe. He wrote me into the first film as well, so I get to be Lieutenant Bradbury in the first one, and then Cadet Bradbury in the fourth and fifth. So I get to
grandson,
play, my own grandson. So that's pretty awesome. How many people get to say that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a straight line. I could say something, but I won't. I really won't. So, but
Thanks,
come to me
Mark.
later.
I appreciate that.
But that's
I know we're running out of time, so
and Justin Cervillo. Oh, before we go to Justin, there's one other cast member that we haven't heard from, and that's my dear friend Billy Mumy. And I'll tell you a story about how I met Billy, and then we'll go through a little video. He plays the inventor of Doug Jones, sort of a Steve Jobs character. And the way I met Bill was one day when I was 7 years old. I was homesick. And this was when Lost in Space was on, and I was a big fan of Lost in Space. So I was in my pajamas, and I decided to pull out the phone book and call the stars of Lost in Space. So, you know, as you can tell, I haven't changed a bit. And so I started calling the actors in Lost in Space, and all the names that were there were the people with the same names, but not the actors. And there was one Mummy in the phone book, and it must have been his dad. And his mom picked up, and I said, "Is Billy there?" And she said, "Hold on." And Billy Mumy came to the phone, and I was so nervous, all I could do was blurt out, "Will you be my friend?" and hang up. But then I called him back, and I went over to his house, and we traded comics. So I've actually known Bill since I was 7, and he was 8. And so Bill sent, he couldn't be here today, but he sent a little video, so here it goes.
Hi, folks. It's Bill, Lost in Space Command Mumy here, reminding you that big things are coming, and to stick around for Space Command and keep her flying, because it's going to be good. It's going to be real good.
So as I mentioned, Justin plays Bill's son, Alton, and I don't know if there's anything you'd like to say, Justin, about that, and then I'll tell a little story.
Sure. Dream come true for me. I mean, huge fan of Sci-Fi, love it, came into audition. They explained to me everything that was going on, and I imagined it, and it was so much fun, and I had a blast, and it's been a blast so far. Amazing cast, amazing actors, amazing sets. I'm a kid in a candy store. It's amazing.
And also, one thing I should mention is these are all my partners and my collaborators. We're on an equal footing, really, here. And you're all my partners and collaborators, too. And Justin, when he came into audition, he was not like I envisioned the character in my head. And when he first took a run at it wasn't what I had envisioned. And then my wife, Elaine, who's directing with me, and by the way, always marry someone better and smarter and wiser than yourself, just a piece of advice. So Elaine gave him what's called an adjustment. She said, well, let's do that again. And she gave him some options to take. And it was the most amazing adjustment I had ever seen in my life. It was phenomenal how quickly and how well he changed on a dime. And I went from thinking, well, this isn't my guy, to thinking, I've got to hire this guy. And so what we're doing now is rewriting the character to make it deeper, better, stronger, truer, and to fit Justin, because he's such a wonderful actor. And we'll be able to share that with you when the film comes your way very shortly. But again, for those of you who are actors, always take an adjustment and just really go for it. Really, really go for it. But really glad to have you here, Justin. And then we'll hear from Jeff, Mark, and then David Rakeland, and then take a couple questions. So David, you're our composer, and I think music is very, very important in science fiction. So I don't know if you want to say a word or two about the music.
Hi. Yes, this is the largest and most amazing magical canvas that's possible. We have the past, the present, and the future of science fiction all happening at the same time. This is, as you may have noticed, a bit of a retro project, and yet it's very much today. And that combination of the best of the past, the best of the present, and the best of our future selves allows us to do things that no other show could do. For instance, we can have a family drama played out on the vastest possible cosmic scheme, so we can have the symphony orchestra and the chorus and the electronics and every nationality, every alien race, musical genre possible, all fit within this one amazing epic.
Great. Well, great. Well, thank you, David. Yay. Thank you. Great. And Jeff Mark is our wonderful special effects supervisor. And so if you want to take a moment to just talk about the effects and all that stuff.
First of all, I want to say how wonderful it is that even after I've blowing him up, I get to sit next to Doug Jones. This film really is, it's a playground and a sandbox and just a wonderful experience. I get to do all the newest gizmos and gadgets and techniques that there are in visual effects and still pull from my bag of tricks stuff that I used 20 years ago, just rendering a lot faster.
Well, on Babylon 5, you worked on Babylon 5
that's
as well.
That's where I first met Mark, was on Babylon 5,
Yeah.
because the VFX crew was allowed to go on set for some reason. And there he was amongst all the other writers, and it was just a great experience. And then 20-odd years later, here we are.
Here we are, exactly. That's lovely. Well, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Great. So we have a few minutes for questions. If there's a mic, if anyone, I guess I'll just call on you over there. Yeah, go for it. Shout it out. Okay,
I have a question for Doug. Do you prefer acting in creature makeup or without creature makeup, and in which do you feel more vulnerable?
Oh, thank you. Well, I like taking on a role that's juicy in any story that I fall in love with or without prosthetic makeups, right? So I don't think I prefer either one way or the other. There are perks to one or the other. When I wear prosthetic makeups in a creature suit or mask, it gives me a certain freedom to be crazy. You know, I can push. You know, when you're doing this, you get to pretend something magical happens in a creature makeup that I can't really explain. But the drawbacks, of course, are a 5-hour makeup application, or going to the snack table and having claws, and you can't grab the Oreos. The flip side is when I get to play something with my own face, as Mark has been so gracious to show my face in this, ugly as it is. Thank you. I was fishing. It is very vulnerable. You hit the nail on the head. When you're known for being the guy under prosthetic makeups, and then you finally in something, which I've done more work in recent years with my own face, but the feeling is always the same. It's like walking out of the house in a Speedo. You kind of feel exposed. I mean, it's street legal, but it's still exposing, isn't it? Right? So I look good in one, by the way. I'm going to say it. But thank you. But the plus side is that I do get a 20-minute makeup and hair job, and I can eat my own carrots that day. You know. Thank you.
You bet. And one thing I want to mention is also someone who's been helping us a lot, people have been helping us a lot, is the real Air Force and the real Space Command, which is the space-going arm of the Air Force. And two of our dear friends from the Air Force are here tonight, Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Roberts and Staff Sergeant Stagmeyer. So if we can give them a hand, I don't know. Yeah, there they are. Yeah. Gentlemen. Great. Thank you so much. So great. Yeah.
Hi, this is for Robert Picardo. A long time ago, you directed an episode of Voyager called Alter Ego, and you were really nice to me because I was the Hawaiian Strangler. Do you even remember? No.
Of course I do. I mean,
no, you don't.
You have to have that outfit on, but of course I remember. No, of course I remember.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Okay. Well, I just want to know if you remembered. And you were so nice to me because I remember I didn't even go on action. I messed up, and I remember you told me I forgot my name was Linda because I forgot to drop the lay on time. So thank you so much. You were really sweet to me.
You're very welcome. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
Oh, and thanks for remembering about my outfit.
Thank you. I have a question. Did Doug Jones just brag about how he looked in a Speedo? Did I actually hear that correctly? You got to admire. You got to admire a guy like that.
Great. Oh, great. And I guess we can take maybe one or two more questions. You bet. Go for it.
Yeah, earlier I heard that you were looking for new talent. What would you
Well, our
say
staff
to
is
that?
here, and so you can definitely talk to our staff afterwards. Anyone who wants to be part of Space Command, we're very open to people contributing because, again, we're all making it together. And also, of course, if you have a big dream, go for it. I mean, don't let things stop you, because that's why we all stand here, because we didn't listen to a maturity opinion. We listened to our own longings and dreams and hopes and made them come true. So, but great.
Yeah.
But definitely talk to our people afterwards. Thanks. Yeah. Go for it. Absolutely. Yeah.
how did the Kickstarter and crowdsourcing affect the creative process since you were free of network or other interference? Do you find any new ideas coming in from the fans, reading comments?
Absolutely. Because, you know, the lovely thing is, you know, and it's not just Kickstarter, it's now people are buying investment shares and they're underwriting us and it's continuing, it's ongoing. And again, it's like, it's lovely because you know, the thing with the network is, you know, when you're on a show, and I've been very lucky, you know, all of us who've done network shows, we've been very lucky to work with people who are very understanding and very, you know, encouraging in terms of, even from the executives. But on the other hand, many of my friends who run network shows, and I know many of them, you know, the networks are paying the bills, and they have to, if someone gives them a stupid note, they have to follow the stupid note. And it would have been very possible, even before I took the Space Command out, a lot of my showrunner friends wanted me to walk it in with them to the networks, and probably the worst thing that would have happened would have been if it had sold, because then there's always that kind of, you know, landmine waiting for you, where all of a sudden it's like it's going great, and then all of a sudden here's an idea that they're suggesting, you know, and it wrecks it. So I didn't want to take that risk, and thanks to Kickstarter, thanks to this new model, I don't have to take that risk. And ultimately, we're all bringing our good hearts and our best talents to make this thing a reality. And I'm thrilled. I mean, it's hard work, but it's good hard work. You know, it's well worth it. I don't regret a moment of it. I'm blessed. I'm thrilled to be here. So
you
yeah.
can greenlight yourself.
Exactly. And it's ongoing. And by the way, I've just started a new YouTube channel called Mr. Sci-Fi, and I'm posting videos every day. And there's the Space Command movie website and all of that. So you can see very much what we're doing. I very much like to share these adventures with all of you. So and do we? How are we? Oh, we also have free posters for everybody, by the way. The poster that you see there, we've got a version of it that you can all have. So, and we have a signing tomorrow at the Geekscape booth at noon to 2. And where's the Geekscape booth?
Geekscape.
3139. Oh God. Yes. Hello. 3919. So, and there again is Dave Edison, our editor, who edited everything you saw. Just a phenomenal editor. And so I think the way I'd like to end this, because this is, you know, when I was 10 years old, I heard Ray Bradbury speak at a library, and that was the moment I decided I wanted to become a writer. And Ray said, ideally, your work and your life and your art should all come from the same place. And I thought that was amazing wisdom. And I'm living my dream right now. And so I think what I'd like is maybe if Doug and Mira and Bob, I think if each of you could say, if you want to give a piece of encouragement to anyone out here who has a big dream and wants to achieve it, just anything you might say to help them get that to happen, because it's wonderful when it happens.
Who's first? Put on your Speedo. What's wonderful about working on a project like this is because it really is grassroots. And I think if there's a lesson here, it's to tell everyone that if you want it enough, you can create the opportunity for yourself. And you know, this crowdfunding and all that has made it so democratic now that if you have a good idea and you put it out there and people go, yeah, I'd like to see that, then you can make it. So I think that this should feel empowering to all you guys, that Marc had this vision for a multi-generational saga that would have been super expensive to make on the network, and there would have been a million cooks screwing it up, and he just said, no, I want to do it. I want it to be my vision. I want to get the actors I want to work with, and this is a great lesson for how all of us can make something happen if you believe in it enough.
That's great.
It gives hope to me. I mean, you know, it's so hard to give up in this industry and to see the superficiality and the negativity and the rejections, constant rejections. And if you're a sensitive person, it's really, really hard, almost impossible. to keep going. You know, you have to be kind of you have to be a driven man. I mean, a kind of a maniac in a way.
Yeah, that's me.
With a really thick skin. But then you meet Marc, who is none of those things, who's a sensitive human being.
Thanks.
You know, and somehow he pulled it off. So for me, personally, it's a revelation, and it gives me hope. And so it should give you hope.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. My advice for any artist in any format, whether you're an actor, whether you're a director, writer, anything, any of the arts, if you're a painter, or if you're a visual effects artist or a musician, be good at what you do, whatever that means. Get the training you need, meet the right people you need to meet, get advice from anybody you can, become the best at that you can be, then find a way to do it in front of someone who can hire you. Those are very simple things.
Yeah, great, great. So I'll just finish and then we'll go. I'll finish with this one last thing. A friend of mine decided he wanted to be one of the greatest writers who had ever lived, and he was worried that it might be, you know, mental illness. And so we went to a therapist, and after an hour, the therapist said to him, well, I think I can cure you of this, and you can just come twice a week, and we'll work on this, and you'll be fine. And after that one session, my friend decided that instead of being cured of his delusion, he would just kind of go for it, and that was Ray Bradbury. So I think he pulled it off. So follow your dreams, and we'll see you next time, and thank you so much for being here.